Fans of NFL Blitz have expressed how much they would love to get an Arcade1up cabinet with one of their favorite titles in it. But they say it's probably impossible because that game is too violent. There's too many challenges, and those challenges would be insurmountable for Arcade1up to come up with a way to re-release it. But last night on the 1UP Weekly, we had a special guest, Mark Turmel himself, the software developer behind some of the greatest midway games, including NFL Blitz. They share a different opinion. They're saying that even back in the day when that game was released, they had the source code and they made modifications to that game to appease any issues with any violence. They talked about the challenges being a little bit different than what the community has said. They focused on some of the challenges being with the actual gameplay and the precision of certain moves in the game. And it got me wondering, why would that be a challenge? Why would that be something that they are focusing on their roadmap, saying like, hey, if we were to do something like that, not that we're confirming or denying that we're working on that, here's the things that we would need to be focusing on. And some of those things, of course, is the problem with the players. They got to get all the players in that, in those games to sign off on it, sign a waiver or sign a royalty deal, whatever it is, to say, yes, you can do it. So that's a big challenge. And why is that? So NBA Jam, that's an NBA game, and there's an NBA association that kind of collectively represents those players from an IP point of view, and they can work out those deals. Some of those characters are not part of that association on the NBA side, so they had to reach out to those individual people. And some of it's just logistics, actually talking to the people and getting them to sign off on it. That takes work. But that cabinet takes software updates, the NBA Jam, and so it's possible for them to add those characters later. I think that's really cool. But let's talk about NFL Blitz. Now think about that. There is no NFL association that singularly represents all of those IP, those characters, those players that they can simply reach out to and sign a waiver and do a royalty deal or whatever, however that works. So the challenges are higher. But I want to talk about this whole thing about the precision timing that was talked about on John D brought it up and Mark Turmel brought it up. And I'm wondering, why is that a focus? And it came to me. I think I figured it out. So why would you need to modify the original ROM to tweak the accuracy and performance of this window of opportunity for a pass interference? And they didn't explain why. They just kind of said this is a challenge. And I don't know more than anybody else. I was there in the show, watching it live, listening to this information, and I don't have the ability to ask more details. If I did, this is not something that Arcade1up would share with me, but I'm wondering if the reason is because they're gonna make the game live. So think about it, there's gonna be inherent lag over the internet. And those original ROMs were designed for a game that you're static and you're sitting in front of it, you're seeing on a CRT, and it's basically, that's our reference quality. That is lag free in our opinion, right? There's like no game lag. It's 60 frames per second, and every 16 milliseconds, those games ask the controller, what button are you pressing? And it's making near real-time decisions of the gameplay. But if you want to integrate the game for live gameplay to be able to play with different people, there's going to be information that has to be sent to the other players. And the timing for live would have to be modified so that the opponents on the other side of the country can interact with that gameplay. So it's clear that they have the source code. They have the ability to tweak those timings. And I really hope that they pair up with Code Mystics to be able to make an NFL Blitz game. That would be triumphant, man. So that's my thoughts on it. I think they're working on it. I think they have a lot of work to do. And I think Arcade1up is trying to be a little bit more transparent with things, saying like, hey, we hear you. We know that there's a lot of fans on this game. We are working on it. There are challenges. We want to let you know that our challenges are different than what you're saying in the community. These are the things that are challenges, and that's what we're working on. And if we can make it all come together, if all the right people agree, then it will happen. But let me know down in the comments what you think. Are you excited about a game like NFL Blitz? Tell me a story about when you played that in the arcade. Was that a game that you just absolutely love? I think it's another one of those games that's great to play with other people. And the fact that they They got to do it live, because if they do it live, that's what they call their like being able to play with other people on the internet. That will make the game much more enjoyable, make a community out of it. You know, we're sitting here at home, and if we buy an arcade like that, we can play with our friends, we can play with other people in the community. It's kind of a must thing. So tell me what you guys think in the comment. Do they need to work hard to make sure they get that precision just right to be able to make it a live cabinet? That's all the time I have for today. See you guys on the next one. Take care.